So today I'm going to show you a few simple ways to create that dramatic sky effect in Lightroom. This has been really popular on Instagram for the last few years, and it's very simple to do. I'll show you all the little things that goes into it, and after this video, you know how to do it, baby. All right, so welcome to Lightroom. Now, you can see that this sky is pretty blown out, but we can actually retain a lot of information here and make it pretty epic. So the first thing you're gonna do, and the main thing actually when doing this, is using a gradient filter. So you click here, and then you get it out, and you just drag it down. How far you want it to be, that's totally up to you and what picture you're working with, okay? So you drag it down, like so, is cool. Now, this is like mostly combination of dragging down the exposure to retain a lot of details. As you can see, the further you drag it down, the more you get it. And then it's dehaze. If you drag dehaze up, you also get a lot of oomph, especially if you have clouds to work with. And then clarity, it really is that last oomph that you get with the clarity. You can see that it just makes it a little more dramatic. And it's really just a combination of these depending on how far you want to go. So for this, I would probably go somewhere here. I would drag dehaze up, like right around here, I think looks cool. And then clarity, we can do it like this. All right, now this is just the gradient filter, and then you can add it again if you like, because you see down here we don't have it, and then you can drag another one all the way down here and not have it this much. That would be crazy, but just slightly, ever like so, and just a little bit like this, and then you get down in these areas too. But there are a few more things you can also do. So look, if we delete this one, I'll just delete it, and we go down here to the blues, that if you work with the luminance in the blues, you can also create a lot of details in sky, like you can see in this photo here. Here I'm really just dragging down the blues to get that, like, it really makes the sky dramatic and really makes it pop. So look, you'll see what I mean in a second. With the luminance, because there is blues in the sky, especially the less clouds you have, the more you're gonna see it. But if you drag it down, you can see how you start to like really, you see how this effect? It's pretty cool. And also here in Aqua, there's also just a slide. And then another nice trick is also if you want to desaturate, because if it's like this, I think it's a little bit weird, but desaturating it, and I think you get a pretty nice image. So basically this is how you do it. You manipulate the sky with the exposure, clarity, and dehaze, and also work with the blues. Now you don't have to use gradient filter. You could use a brush tool and brush on where you want it to be. And then you brush, and then you just drag down the exposure like this. Looks pretty, like, very nice to do it like this too. Another cool tip you can do with the brush tool is to brush just the places where you want it to pop extra much. So in this photo, I would really like just the black places here, some places here too, even this here to pop a little bit more, like so. And then you can see if you press O, you can see where you have it all, and we can do it like this too. Maybe here also. And then just these places, now we can drag the exposure a little bit extra down, and maybe drag up the clarity a little bit, and even dehaze just a tiny bit. So now just these extra places really start to pop. Now images like this, or images like this that I showed you before, these are perfect for this because the sky is really easy to manipulate. It's easy to drag a gradient filter down and do it here, and then start to work by just dragging down the exposure. Very, very simple, okay? Now this is too much, but for the sake of explanation. But what if you had a photo like this here, where it's like harder because there's a building in the middle? Simple. I'll show you. Essentially, it's the same thing. So we grab here the gradient filter, and we drag down like this. All right. Then you just drag down exposure like this, and voila. Awesome. No, I'm kidding. Not like this. So what you're doing now, you need to retain the information here in the sky, but you're dragging it down. But as you can see, it's going on the building, and that doesn't look pretty. You can see that this is starting to look a little bit strange and weird. We don't really like it. But what you can do then, you go to Range Mask, click here, and go to Luminance, okay? What this allows you to do is to blend the mask, the gradient mask that you're making, blend it in with the photo, like so it doesn't go on the building. So if you drag here in the range and you press Alt and hold in Alt, you can drag it like so. And now everything that is not white, no, not white, everything that is white is going to be the mask, and the rest it's going to be blended in together. So if you drag it all the way here, now it's not affecting the building nearly so much. But it's nice if it affects a little bit, so it's just behind, but like so. And now you can see the difference, that now the buildings start to show, but you're still getting that information there, creating a nice sky. And here I would think that the haze would be pretty cool. Now the last photo I'm going to show you is the same. I think this is very cool because even though your sky is like completely blown out, there is nothing here. You can see that there is still always a little bit of information. So I think it's also cool, like if I want to create a little bit more moody tones, I can use a gradient filter here and then basically just see what happens if we drag down exposure, and you can see that we have some sky here. So if you drag up the dehaze, you can start to see it there. Now it's affecting these here because you can see where the filter is. But remember, then we can just go to range, mask, luminance, and drag this up like so. And now it's not affecting it nearly as much like this. And you see that we have some clouds coming in. Pretty cool. And now I can just do it better so you can get it here too. All right, so that's how you create a dramatic sky with Lightroom, using the gradient filter, and then in the combination with the dragging down the exposure, dragging up clarity, and dragging up dehaze. That's like the most of the work, but also going down to blues and aqua and messing with the saturation and luminance, because with luminance, you're dragging out the brightness of the sky, so you're really enhancing that dramatic feeling. Again, I'm going to show you this photo here, because here I've really dragged down the luminance, so that sky behind it really just is like a little bit gray and punchy, and creating, you know, a dramatic sky. So I just wanted to share this little tip with you. Now you know how to do it. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask in comments down below. I promise I'll try my very best to answer you. Also, if you could smack that like button for me, it would really help me out. Thank you so much for all the support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.